Hey guys, this is a recipe that I love and I really can't wait to share it with you. It is a fish recipe. When I first started cooking, fish always seemed like this kind of daunting thing. And also, you don't want it to smell up your house and your apartment. This is a solution for that, so check this out. I kind of steer away from fish unless I cook it like this, because when you cook it like this, there's zero cleanup and there's zero smell, like for real. So check this out. You can use any fish you want. These are wild caught salmon fillets, okay, that I got from the market. So what you're gonna do is, this is a piece of aluminum foil. I don't like putting my stuff right onto foil, so it's just a personal thing. I always let it layer a little piece of my unbleached parchment paper on there. That's a personal thing. So I have 2 pieces of aluminum foil with a little parchment paper lining. I rinsed off my fish, patted it dry. We're just gonna lay it right in the center. Little bit of lemon juice, olive oil, salt and pepper. That's it. So check this out. We have lemon juice. Any fish you use, lemon juice, olive oil, salt and pepper is always an awesome combo. The other thing you can do too is, like, if you're using maybe a white fish, like a cod or something, you can put little chopped olives on there, a little bit of like herbs, whatever. This is just the most basic one that I do, but you can, get funky with it and add whatever you want on your fish that you like. So then you kind of like massage it on there. This is some real salt. I like Himalayan salt a lot. I just, I go in phases. Right now, I always love like my fat French sea salt. This I use, after I cook something, to sprinkle it on there, and I cut a little hole in the side to rest my little spoon in it. So I cut a little thing to rest it in there. I saw this when I was in Europe. They did this and they put the salt like this on the table, and I became obsessed with it. So now I started doing that in my house. But this I use for seasoning at the end. For fish right now, before we cook it, you want to put salt and pepper all over the fillet. Fish can take a little bit of extra salt. So, you can be, I don't put that much on because my daughter does eat this, but you can be a little, liberal with your salt. But because I know that my kid's gonna be eating this, as you guys know, I always season it a little bit less. And then depending on who's gonna be eating it, then I add my seasoning. I always do extra seasoning at the end. So we have lemon juice, olive oil, salt and pepper, super easy. Now this is the cool trick. You're gonna take both sides, hold them straight up, okay? Then you're just gonna fold them down, and then you're gonna fold up the sides and then pinch it forward like that. Because you wanna make sure that juices and stuff stay inside. So you wanna fold the bottom up and then just pinch the sides. So it becomes like a little pouch. And this air above the fish, it basically steams in the lemon juice and the olive oil, salt and pepper, its own juices. And then it kind of steams itself in this little pouch. It's such an awesome trick. I love this. And it keeps the smell trapped inside. So I'm gonna do the same thing, little purse. So now all you're gonna do is, you're gonna take these 2 little pouches and just put them straight into a pan and cover it. That's it. Don't oil your pan or anything. It's just a clean. I like this pan because it's pretty deep. So we are going to be covering it, and you don't want to squish. You want that air to be above the fish, so it kind of steams itself in there. So you put them straight into the pan, but because you're going to be covering it, you want one that's a little deeper. If not, no big deal, but you do want to cover it. So let's put this on the stove. There's the fish. So I'm gonna put it on medium right now, because fish, you really wanna be careful not to overcook it. So put it on medium. As soon as you start hearing a little bit of the sizzle in there, you're gonna turn it down to like medium low, and then you're gonna gently cover it. And it's not touching all the way. I used to have a dome lid. If you have anything that's like curved, that's even better, but because I'm in my New York apartment, I have a lot of stuff in storage and I don't have that with me, so we have to kind of like make do. So this is squishing the top, but There's still air in there for the fish to steam itself. So you can hear the fish starting to sizzle in there a little bit. Okay, so now we're gonna turn it on medium low. And let's set a timer for 7 minutes, and then we'll take a little peek. If the sizzle starts to get really loud, turn it even lower because you don't want the fish to overcook. So as soon as you hear the sizzle, you want to turn it down to like a medium low, and as it sizzles more, turn it down lower. These fillets are pretty fat, so they'll probably take like 8 to maybe 10 minutes. But when I'm cooking like Dover sole fillet or thinner fillets, they can cook as quickly as 3 minutes. So depending on the thickness of your fish, you know. These are fat, so I'm gonna take a peek at 8 minutes. Just pulled these off of the stove, so check this out. Use something to cover your hands. I just have been cooking for so long that for some reason I feel like I don't feel heat on my fingers, my fingies. So remember when I talked about zero cleanup, okay? So just saying, putting this back on the stove. So now there's still steam coming out of here, but I just want to show you what these look like before I take them out. So this is the cooked salmon. One of the things I also love about this recipe is the skin. In this particular recipe, the skin on fish, I only really like if it's really crispy, but this particular way that I'm cooking it, this skin actually, you just kind of slip the spatula just underneath it. And the skin sometimes actually just sticks to the parchment paper, which is nice because then you just have just the single fillet on its own. So there is your basically steamed poached salmon, which is awesome. And we'll cut it open in a second. So the skin still here, yeah. So this is your cleanup. Another reason why I love this recipe. There's no smell. My apartment does not smell. This goes in the trash and the pan is clean. That's why this recipe is so cool. So again, you know, depending on, this one is, I mean, I like my salmon cooked a little more well done. Someone like my mother likes to have it kind of like raw in the middle. That's not my thing. So again, these fillets were kind of fat. So these cooked for, I would say, 10 minutes. When I make Dover sole, super, super thin, literally in 3 minutes, it's cooked. So, you know, depending on how often you cook fish, you kind of get the hang of how long it's going to take. So now what I'll do is, this is this creepy head glass that my husband got. He's the only one that uses them, but I do kind of stick little things in them when I'm cooking. It's like this weird, creepy head. It's very funny. So let's do a little bit of fresh chopped Italian flat leaf parsley, because you know I love to add my fresh herbs to everything. And then always with fish, I like to add a little lemon wedge. And it also looks really pretty. No matter who I'm cooking for, whether it's, you know, my husband, my daughter, or friends, I always, you know, before you taste it, you see it, you know? So I always like to make sure it always looks really pretty. Also, that's something my mom taught me as a kid. So there is your salmon. I mean, it's so easy to cook, a little bit of fresh herbs, some lemon wedges, and it's great. I hope you guys like this recipe. Subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you know whenever I put up a new video. And I'm gonna taste this right now. That's awesome. That's really good. Wow, that was perfectly cooked. Okay. Yum.